We are still going to compare and order real numbers. Now we have it in the form of a word problem. And I just want to encourage you guys not to shut down whenever you see a word problem. I was telling my volleyball team about a quote that I saw, and it said that 90% of your of what happens to you in life depends on your attitude. Okay? They said 10% is what happened to you, 90% is your attitude that you have towards it. So when my players are on the court, if they're not confident and they're pouting and they're freaking out and they're squabbling with each other, they don't play very well. But when they choose to have positive energy, to be confident, to believe in each other, guess what? They play well. Now it's the same people with the same skills, the same physical assets, and yet they can be completely different based on your attitude. The same is true with word problems. If you choose to be intimidated by word problems and you think, I can't do this, then you probably won't be able to. But if you say confidently, I am going to figure this out because I do know how to read, then you will have a much better shot at being able to solve them. Okay? So in this case, we are going to probably be having to use square roots, cube roots, and different things like that in the midst of a word problem. Okay? So here we go. On a clear day, the number of miles a person can see to the horizon is about 1.23 times the square root of his or her distance from the ground in feet. So that sentence is very crucial, and that pretty much is your formula for answering the question. So we've got two people here. Suppose Frida is at the Empire State Building observation deck at 1,250 feet, and Kia is at the Freedom Tower observation deck at 1,362 feet. How much farther can Kia see than Frida? So notice they didn't just say, find out how far they can both see. They said, how much farther can Kia see? All right, well, let's break this down. The number 1.23 is just 1.23. Times means what? Multiplication. So I'm multiplying that by what? The square root of their distance from the ground. Well, we know Frida is how far off the ground? Okay? So for Frida, how far she can see to the horizon is 1.23 times the square root of 1,250. So can we have someone do the square root of 1,250 and then multiply that by 1.23, please?
That is 43.487.
All right, so what if we call it 43.49? We'll round it up. So that means that Frida can see 43.49 miles from where she is standing, which is pretty awesome. Now let's take a look at Kia. Kia, same formula, 1.23 times the square root of her height, which happens to be 1,362 feet. All right, now let's find out what this is. If we take the square root of that and multiply it by 1.23, we should get, Savannah? 45.39349953. So let's call that 45.39. Okay? So now what are we going to do? Don't forget that we want to know how much farther Kia can see than Frida. So what do I have to do? I have to subtract. So let me make some space here. I'm going to have to do 45.39 minus 43.49, and my answer will be 1.9. So 1.9. So Kia can see 1.9 miles farther than Frida, based on the fact that she is higher up. Okay? So, once again, this is a word problem. It is not the end of the world. You simply need to read and translate into mathematical language.